Hi. So this is chapter 6 for the week 4 reading of Business 2000. And this is some of the objectives for this chapter. Just to briefly go through here, complete business messages by revising for conciseness, which eliminates flabby expressions, long lead-ins, improve clarity in business messages by keeping the ideal simple and dumping trite business phrases, enhance readability by understanding the document design, recognize proofreading problem areas, and apply effective techniques to catch mistakes, and evaluate a message to judge its effectiveness. Mm, Sometimes it takes just a little bit. Wants to do its own thing. Okay, so critical thinking is something for you to think of. Assume that a recently hired culinary product manager is charged with generating and implementing new menu suggestions. What role do communication skills play in this person's effectiveness? Do you think culinary product manager would make an oral or written presentation of new menu ideas, which is what this is talking about on the left? Why is it a writing process helpful in developing this presentation? So that's just something to think about if you read this. Now, taking time to revise, applying phase 3 of the writing process. We talked about the writing process week 2, I believe. And so which focuses on editing, proofreading, and evaluating. Okay. So editing means improving the content and sentence structure of your message. Proofreading involves correcting its grammar, spelling, punctuation, format, and mechanics. Evaluating is a process of analyzing whether your message achieves its purpose. And it goes on to talk about the new culinary product manager at Taco Bell and how what he's doing there can apply to similar to other business people. And so you do have to revise. All right, so 177. Okay, so this is called, so this page starts off, continues from the other one. Although the drafting process differs depending on person and situation, the final phase should occupy a significant share of the total time you spend on the message. Rarely is a first or even second version of a message satisfactory. So tightening your message by revising for conciseness, that means how basically short and sweet, but it's not losing the importance of what you're doing. And so we get down here to examine every sentence that you could write. Could the thought be conveyed in fewer words? Getting rid of unnecessary introductory words, getting rid of redundancies, purge empty words. All right, here's an example of flabbiness. Due to the fact that sales are booming, profits are good. What about if it said, because sales are booming, profits are good? You just leave out or replace due to the fact in that, and you just replace it with the word because. Okay, so flabby is, as a general rule, could be replaced with generally. Despite the fact, to be replaced with although. Feel free to, just please. In all probability, just replace it with probably. In the near future, replace it with soon. Until such time as, just make it until. And I referenced these pages that we're going to be going through in the assignments that you had to do for this week. Okay, so just double checking the page. Okay, So let's look revising digital and print documents. This is a short note to let you know that as. Okay, just shorten that down to as you requested. I investigated several of our competitors' websites. Attached is a summary of my findings. I was most interested in comparing market strategies as well as navigational geographics to guide visitors through the sites. Look at all the extra words they took out. Because we will be revising our own website soon, I was intrigued by the organization, marketing tactics, and navigation at each site I visited. Now, this is using this procedure where you do strike throughs, and this is on your computer if you want to. And then the changes you put in is in a different color. And so that will help you kind of see what you're doing. And if you look on the right side, it says strike through functions located on the font tab. They use blue to show inserted words. Now, proofreading symbols. These are very, if you print, I have to do a lot of my proofreading by printing out what I've written. And then I use these signals, these symbols, delete, capitalize, insert. This is insert a comma. This is insert a period. And this is starting a paragraph. So let's look at this a little bit. They decide to take out this whole stretch right here. So they just drew a line and then put the delete sign in it. As for the capital A, again, take out made and, take out the ION and of and put ED. Do you see what they're doing? And so making a comparison, just put comparing and then marketing here. And that took this out. So you just kind of go through and use these symbols. And these are universal symbols, so a lot of people know them. And it just kind of helps you be able to read through and not get stopped or involved with too much thinking about it, just going through and reading and using the symbols, so then you can go back and read through it again. Long lead-ins. Here's an example. I am sending you this email to announce that we have hired a new manager. Concise and direct with just, we have hired a new manager. So you can see that the wordiness is what, 1, 2, 3 lines here, and it goes down to 2. It's 2 lines. This is to inform you that you may find lower airfares at our website. Just, you may find lower airfares at our website. And so this is just, it takes it, people typically would pay more attention when it's more concise, because a lot of times people get lost in all the words. Dropping unnecessary there is, are, and it is or was fillers. So let's look at this just a bit. Wordy, concise. Again, there are more women than men enrolled in college today. So you could just go here, more women than men are enrolled in college today. You have, there is an aggregator that collects and organizes blogs. And it goes down to 1 line here. It was a Facebook post that revealed the news. And you don't need it was, just a Facebook post revealed the news. Rejecting redundancies, which are expressions that repeat meaning or include unnecessary words. Saying unexpected surprise is like saying surprise, surprise. I mean, what surprise is expected? Okay. Excessive adjectives, adverbs, and phrases. So let's look at a little bit of this. Absolutely essential. Well, everything is essential. There, absolutely is redundant. Adequate enough, just make it adequate. Basic fundamentals, use either fundamentals or basics because typically they mean the same thing. Big in size. Okay, you could just leave it big. Exactly identical could be just straight identical. Let's see, refer back, just refer. True facts or facts because it kind of says itself. Purging empty words. This is kind of a cool thing to pay attention to. Familiar phrases roll off the tongue easily, but may contain expendable parts. Be alert to these empty words and phrases: case, degree, the fact that, factor, instance, nature, quality. Okay. In the case of Facebook, increased users but lost share value. Because of support from upper management, the plan worked. We are aware that new products soar when pushed by social networking. And then it goes on to give you additional examples. Avoid saying the obvious. When it arrived, I cashed your check immediately. Announcing check's arrival is unnecessary. The fact that is assumed in its cashing. You can't cash a check if it hasn't arrived. Look carefully at clauses beginning with that, which, and who. It can usually be shortened. Search for phrases such as it appears that. Changing the name of a successful company is always risky. Our final proposal was slightly altered. One approval. Our proposal slightly altered one approval. I missed the commas. We plan to schedule weekly meetings. And here's an example of customer service reps chatting with customers. One company found halfway down that it could not easily convert its telephone customer service people to chat representatives because many lacked the language skills necessary to write clear and correct messages. They were good at talking, but not writing. And I think a lot of times, I don't care how good you are, we're better at talking than writing. And so it's just kind of like, for me, it kind of depends on the day. Okay, reality check. How to lose a customer fast, which is having a grammar error on any form of outward communication. You are a lot of times judged by your written word, like we talked about earlier in the videos. Writing concisely for microblogging on social media networks. Concise expression is especially important in microblogging. Microblogging consists of short messages exchanged on social media networks such as Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. Microblogging may be public or private, and then Twitter and social networks are public channels with messages broadcast externally to the world, and Twitter limits each post to 140 characters. And then here is a sample, and then to find out more information about Twitter, this is here, and this is an example of what it looks like. And you can read a lot of this. I'm just trying to hit the high points. Again, some other microblogging, making your message clear. This is learning objective 2. A major revision task involves assessing the clarity of your message. A clear message is one that's immediately understood. 3 techniques can improve the clarity of your writing. Apply the KISS formula. Keep it short and simple. And that really helps a lot. And then here comes the graphs. Yay, I love the graphs. Consumers understand drug effects better when the information is presented concisely and clearly. Dartmouth University student revealed the concise fact boxes are superior to the tiny type, full-page, direct-to-consumer advertisements that drug manufacturers usually publish. So here's 72%, 9%. People who quantified a heart's drug benefits after reading a concise fact box. In other words, people that could really name the facts about a heart's drug benefits versus all the words. So you have bullets and short words versus line after line after line after line of words. So 9% of the people remembered information from here. 72% remembered information from here. Okay, so here is another chart about keeping it short and simple. Wordy and unclear is on this side. Improved is on the right. Giving you an example of trite business phrases. Here's the trite phrases, and here it is improved. And then cliches are expressions that become exhausted by overuse, and many can't really be explained. Below the belt, last but not least, beyond a shadow of a doubt, fill the bill. What's bad, boring, and barely read all over. Okay, so now we're to buried verbs and unburied verbs. Conduct a discussion of, or just say discuss. Reach a conclusion that, or just conclude. Controlling exuberance. The manufacturer was extremely upset to learn that its smartphones were definitely being counterfeited. The manufacturer was upset to learn that its smartphones were being counterfeited. Okay, you don't need necessarily the expressive words all the time. Enhancing readability through document design. And this is under Learning Objective 3. And a lot of times, besides shortening it, you're writing down to conciseness, it's how the page looks and the design of the page that helps get the information out and gets people to read it better. And so this is important when you're writing, or if you're doing brochures, or if you're doing a press announcement, or just a report of any kind. So empty space on a page is called white space. So this is white space here. A page crammed full of text or graphics appears busy, cluttered, and unreadable. To increase the white space, use headings, bulleted or number list, and effective margins. Remember that short sentences, 20 or fewer words, short paragraphs, 8 or fewer printed lines, improves readability and comprehension. And here's some directions about what to do with white space. Side margins, using a word processing program where it gives you different formatting of the lines, formatting of the paragraphs, choose an appropriate typefaces. So it does a little bit of explaining what a serif type font is and different types of serif fonts, Century, Georgia, Times New Roman. Sans serif is Arial, Tahoma, and for less formal messages, you might want to choose Comic Sans. So depending on what you're wanting to say and the business type of message that you want to convey, you would do the different fonts to go along with it, and you do the different formatting of your information that you're going to send out, paying attention to what it looks like. And so typefaces with different personalities for different purposes. Have you ever thought of a typeface having a personality? Okay. All purpose, traditional, happy, creative, and funny, assertive, bold, and just plain monospaced, okay, which means the spacing is equal. I never thought about typefaces having personalities, but that's an interesting thought. I can see in it. I kind of agree. And then here's some information about choosing a font, computer scanning, and how that works with it. Capitalizing on type fonts and sizes, and that kind of explains to you. You may know a lot of it. Some of it may be new ways of looking at things, so it's well worth your while to read it. Revision process, think about the type size, 10 to 12 point type for body text. Tiny type makes things look denser and unappealing. Remember, the tinier it is, if there's anybody that has some problem seeing, it makes it very hard to read. Numbers and bullets for quick comprehension. People usually read number list and bulleted list much, much easier. So here it is showing you what a numbered list looks like versus a bulleted list. Adding headings for visual impact. Category headings. Our company focuses on the following areas in the employment process, and it gives them here. In figure 6.5, the writer was able to convert a dense, unappealing email message into an easier to read version by applying the document design. And here is costly writing. This just blew me away. A Philadelphia lawyer was charged with malpractice to the tune of $6.6 million for drafting a poor commercial lease. The judge in LA said the draft was inartfully written and done so in a confusing fashion, which lends itself to ambiguities and disagreements. And so cost this lawyer a lot of money. Now, here is to, besides having the graphs, my other part of this, which is the show and tell, as I call it, document design improves readability. So here's the draft. You have caps, you put action items in the wrong place, groups too much information. Look how big this is. Does not end with action requests and details. It just kind of ends. So you want to take this and look, compare all of this to this. Okay, much, much easier. Points out things before, during, signing up. It tells you exactly where you want to go and how you want to do it. Which one would you rather read? Okay, proofreading to catch errors. This is learning objective 4. Once you have the message in its final form, it's time to proofread. Don't proofread earlier because you may waste your time checking items that are eventually changed or omitted. Now, I've told students this following information a lot of years. When you finish a first draft, plan for a cooling off period. If you're in a time crunch, at least a couple of hours. Go away. Don't study, don't read, take a walk, whatever. Put the document aside and return to it after a break, preferably 24 hours or longer if you can. Proofreading is especially difficult because most of us read what we thought we wrote. That's why also when you go to proofread, if you read aloud, the act of reading aloud slowly has your eyes and your ears and your mouth having to work together, and you will find a lot of your mistakes. You can also ask somebody else to proofread it for you that you can trust their proofreading ability. It's just a different set of eyes. What to watch for in proofreading? Spelling. Do you mean affect or effect? Is recommend spelled with one or two C's? Why proofread and business accuracy it matters? And here comes another graph. I especially like this one as well. 100% said that writing errors influenced their opinions about a business. 57% will stop considering a company if its print brochure has one writing error. 75% thought misspelled words were inexcusable. So we have grammar, punctuation, names and numbers, format, how to proofread routine documents. If you read on the screen, use the down arrow to reveal one line at a time. That makes your eyes go slower. Let's see, for handwritten or printed messages, use standard proofreading marks. Remember we talked about that a few pages back. How to proofread complex documents. Print a copy, preferably double-spaced, and set it aside for at least a day. And I'm going to give you time to think about this question for a minute. Why double space? What is the help for that? I can play the Jeopardy jingle here. Double space allows you room to make corrections as you see them, so you don't have arrows going everywhere. Adequate time, be prepared to find errors, read the message at least twice, reduce your reading speed, and this is if you read it out loud, it will automatically reduce your reading speed. Enlist a proofreading buddy, have someone read the message aloud, using standard proofreading marks. Students sometimes visit writing centers, so if you're by a writing center at one of the campuses, that would be good also if you can. Evaluating the effectiveness of your message. This is learning objective 5. As part of finishing touches, take a moment to evaluate your writing, whether it's for you or someone else. Look at the personal appearance. How success is it polished and clear enough to convince the reader that you're worth listening to? Remember the 3x3 writing that we talked about 2 weeks ago? How will you know whether it succeeds? The best way to judge success of your communication is through feedback. Your instructor will also be evaluating some of your writing. Although any criticism is painful, try not to be defensive. This is a learning experience. In this class, you have all 3 elements: instruction in the writing process, practice materials, and someone to guide and evaluate your efforts. So here's that checklist we referred to in one of your assignments. I think it's 4.2. Where you eliminate flabby expressions, avoid opening fillers, shun redundancies, tighten your writing, write concisely for microblogging, keep the message simple, avoid trite business phrases, don't use cliches or slang, rescue buried verbs, control the exuberance, improve readability using bullets, list headings, capital letters, underlining, proofread for correctness, and evaluate your final product. And there's the Taco Bell review back. And here's what a revised draft with the proofreading in. So it's my menu ideas and it was changed to that as per your request, as you requested. So that's kind of thinning that out. And they took out that are based, that are. So the following ideas based on, took out her personal and replaced my. So you need to review this and compare what they did have to this. And you can see how in practice, all this becomes a lot better here. And note that these are double spaced. And then here's a summary. Remember, I have said that the summaries are good for maybe the final exam. It might be good for quizzes because this is putting the whole chapter into the objectives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also look through here and see which things you understand more. If you don't understand this part of it, what's objective 2? All you have to do is go back, find objective 2, and review it. Okay, so there's a lot of ways you can use this summary of learning objectives to your benefit. Okay, the next thing is chapter review. Here's a question, here's the objective, you can answer it. If you know the answers, you don't have to go back. If you don't know the answers or you're not real sure, go back and find this information within that objective and review it. That will help you get ready for the final. It will help you get ready for your weekly quiz. And then we're going into the exercises of 6.1, which is what we did, okay? If you have any questions or thoughts or concerns, make sure you contact your instructor and see what they have to say and how they can help you, okay? Bye-bye.